He actually asked me to give you something. Really? And what is that? A full sandwich? Hello, hola, and shalom, everyone. Rubellia here with another episode of Medieval Dynasty, starting the first day of winter. So this is going to be interesting, because all we have for warmer clothing right now is a pair of pants. So I did find that we have some of this daub, and it's supposed to be used for insulating walls. Wattle and wooden walls. So we have wattle walls, I believe. Let me pull out my hammer. Yeah, we have wattle walls. Wattle, however it's put. Let's try repair. Ooh. Oh, yes. So, what is required? Oh, okay. It's showing me that it's still good. Okay. Gotcha. Okay. I don't want to destroy. So, I gotta figure out how to use this stuff, because I've never done that before. Okay, so that was a little bit of a wasted effort. Apparently we don't have the skill to upgrade our walls as of yet, but that's okay. What I think I'm going to do during this episode, until I figure out something else, let me back in, is I'm going to head down to the Gastovia, and we are going to talk to Unigast and learn a bit more about Iordan. Because I did notice one of my viewers seemed to be very interested in the story of Iordan, so I am going to make sure to keep the story in some of the episodes. Okay, get my torch out because that'll help with temperature. Yeah, believe it or not, see, it just went away. It's kind of strange, but yeah, running with a torch apparently helps your temperature regulate. Alright, we're just getting into town. Now we gotta find Unigast, which looks like he's right here. Okay, hello Rasimar, are you getting settled? The valley is treating you nicely so far. That's wonderful, Rasimar. But you came at a poor time. My duties as a Castellan await me. Of course, I understand. Is everything alright? Yeah, I'm not sure, to be honest. There's been a murder. Yeah, I don't want to sound excited for that. Because they don't, I'm just about to go to the crime scene to question the witnesses, and I honestly don't know what to expect. If everybody lies, I'm sure you'll take good care of the matter. Time will tell. Yes, even it will break. Jokes aside, Rasimir, that's really a serious matter. I won't be able to share more stories with you at the moment, but I believe there is someone you should meet. His name is Samber. He was one of us, the pack. Are you serious? And he lives here, in the valley? That's right. All of them do, actually. Here, I've marked Samber's house on your map. You should go pay him a visit. Great, I'll go there right away. But beware. Calling Ramber friendly is like calling being stung by a bee right on the tip of your manhood pleasant. Ow! Yikes! Well, I'm sure you're exaggerating. He was a part of the reminders, after all. Don't say I didn't warn you. I'll be on my way. Alright, so that's a whole nother story. Now, again, I already know, yeah, we need to go right here. So, right past our place, ironically. But before we go, I do want to go around here and collect quests that are lying around. So that we can actually gather some gold for the taxes in the spring. Alright, here we are at Somber. I may have a wolf following me. I ran past one. Nope, looks like we're good. Okay. So we're here at Somber's place. Let's see if we can talk to him. Think you're lost, boy. Sorry, I didn't mean to... Wait a second. Look me in the eye, and stop shivering for crying out loud. Huh. Black and blue. You're Iordan's family, aren't you? Yes, my name's Ransomer. Or Rasimer. You must be Somber, then. And how do you know that? I was talking with Unigos. He told me that you were part of the Reminders as well. Part of the what now? The pack? The one with Unigos and Iordan? I've never heard that idiotic name in my life. Oh, sorry, I must have made a mistake. We were called the Undying Fist. That's a whole lot better name. We'll just say that just to pacify him. You're damn right it is. That's because I came up with it. Everyone loved it. No idea why Unigos lied to you like that. I'm sure he was just jealous about your creativity. Ha! Of course he was. And not only about that. Anyway, I would love to hear some stories about my uncle and the Pack's adventures altogether. That's an amazing coincidence, because I would love to spend my time telling the old tales by the crackling fire. Oh my, really? No. Leave my property and forget where it is. Wow! Talk about leading you on. Oh, come on. It will only take a moment. A moment of a moment, really. Just tell me. What was my uncle like? How did you become part of the Undying Fist? And what did you do exactly as the Pack? You don't know what we did? Unigos didn't get to that part yet. Alright. But be quiet and try to be less annoying. Where should I begin? Right. It all started when Iordan left his home. He was 18 at the time, if I remember correctly. That clever bastard was always too big of a fish for his own birthplace. And he knew that. Left as soon as he could, but cleverness at such a young age always means two things: being arrogant and hot-headed. His plan was to set out on a big adventure. That's it. Pretty detailed, huh? A path like that is paved with skeletons of young idiots, but none of them was Iordan. Either way, he was wandering for days. Days soon turned into weeks, and his rations into dust. He was useless as a hunter, back then at least. So, berries and mushrooms was all he could get, so obviously he needed some coins. He came across a manor with orchards so vast they seemed like an ocean. Iordan hired himself there. A week of back-breaking labor had passed. His hands were covered in blisters, skin red from the scorching sun, knees pulsating from pain. I must say, you're really an amazing storyteller. I wasn't expecting that. Shut up! Do you want me to finish? Where was I? Oh, right. He was exhausted from all the strenuous work he had done. Went to the lord of the manor with a smile on his face to collect the payment. His stomach was already full with fantasies of all the delicious treats he was dreaming of buying, and all of that was ruined by the hand of the lord holding a couple of lousy coins. Iordan was furious. That was merely a fraction of the pay he was supposed to acquire. He started shouting at the lord, demanding justice. Peasants were just flies to the lord, disgusting, replaceable insects. And what do you do with a fly which buzzes too loudly? Both of the lord's palms struck Iordan's ears with the strength of an ox. Iordan fell to the ground stunned, and the lord's guards threw him out of the manor like garbage, stealing what few pathetic coins while doing so, if I may add. It wasn't until evening when Iordan regained his hearing, and with it came a fervent thought of revenge. Wow, that is, I don't know. Iordan sounded very different according to Unigos, so makes you wonder which one's lying. Honestly, I think it's this guy. Your uncle was quite a capable fighter when I met him 10 years later, but he wasn't back then. He knew the guards would massacre him if he only came close, so he needed to find another way to fulfill his vengeance. Iordan was always ambitious, but that hatred fueled him like nothing before. And what happened next? What came later was me becoming bored of this conversation. Go away. No way, you can't leave me like this. I can do whatever I want. Scram. I have things to do. What things? I'll do them for you. I'll do anything you want. Just please tell me the whole story. Damn, you're annoying. Fine, just shut up already. Just say what needs to be done. You won't regret it. Here, grab this shovel. It's a piece of crap, but it will do. There are clay deposits behind my house. Go there and dig up some clay for me. On it. But still, like, that's what he's worried about. Like, there we go. And here's our clay deposits. Dig this up. I don't know how much clay he's actually needing. Oh, look at this. Look at a deer figurine. That's cute. I'm gonna take it. Another one. I have no clue how much clay he needs, so I'm just gonna take out this pile and then we'll go back. Oh, wait. Actually stated. Okay, so we're good. Holy crap, I'm moving slow because I'm overweight. Alright, let me... Oh wait, I shouldn't need the torch since I'm right here by the fire. Ah. So I can use it. Oh, that's cool. I didn't know you could do that. I never got to see my character before this. That's pretty cool. Oh. Hit X to stand up. That's actually cool. I did not know you could do that. Alright. You have it? Here's all the clay you wanted. Will you finish the story now? Alright, alright. So as I've already said, Iordan wasn't much of a fighter back then. He didn't have any money or connections, but he had one thing, an unusual ability, you see. From an early age, Iordan was an exceptionally good liar. No sweaty palms, no voice cracks, no tells really. Calm, steady breaths, eye contact, held all the way. He eventually managed to handle any kind of pressure, even in the craziest of situations, but it wasn't that at first. He felt no pressure lying, no stress at all. It was as natural for him as breathing. He had absolutely no remorse. He came up with a plan so immensely moronic and unrealistic that it's really hard to believe that it works so perfectly. At first, he convinced the nearby town's tailor to sew him a whole set of clothes worthy of the most wealthy nobleman. The finest of fabrics, silken threads, you name it. Horrendously expensive. So how did he manage to afford it? You may ask. It's simple. He didn't pay for it. So he stole it? I said no such thing. Iordan wasn't a thief. Not in the traditional meaning of the word, at least. Apart from that, did I finish the damn story? Ahem. While wearing his new clothes, he traveled to the castle of the king of that realm and entered it. Okay, now I know that you're making this all up. That's simply impossible. You're absolutely right. It is. It's mad to even consider trying to pull that off. But Iordan, he just walked straight in. I don't blame you for doubting me. Damn, I would have been first to doubt a thing like that if I didn't see him doing it hundreds of times later with my own eyes. Anyway, he walked right into the castle, and once he was there, he followed through with his plan, which was betting his wife. Whose wife? The king's. The king's wife?
Mm-hmm. So, the queen? Indeed. So let me get this straight. The plan was to get into the castle and lay with the queen? Exactly that. You were right. That is the most absurdly idiotic plan I've ever heard of. I told you, but it worked like a charm. I still don't get it. What worked? What has he accomplished by that? After the lovemaking, he dressed up, deliberately leaving his undergarments on the bed, and told the queen he'll be right back with some refreshments. Then he went to one of the king's guards and told him that he saw the queen with a company or with the company of a strange man sneaking into one of the chambers. The guard rushed in and witnessed the queen naked in bed and a man's clothes right next to her. Oh gosh. As a loyal servant, the guard reported on the matter directly to the king himself, who, as you can probably imagine, became furious to say the least. He couldn't really punish his wife, that would be bad for his reputation, but he could pursue her lover. Unfortunately for him, at this point, Iordan was long gone from the castle, riding a beautiful bay mare he borrowed from the stable into the sunset. I still don't get it. You see, the king didn't catch the filthy seducer, but it didn't mean he couldn't track him down and find him. To do so, the only track he could follow was the one thing that Iordan left behind. Except his undergarments, and a pleasurable memory for the queen, his name. Not his real name, of course. The name he used when introducing himself to the queen was the Orchard Lords. Precisely. Now you get it. That's incredible. The Lord's head must have left the company of his body very promptly. Oh my gosh. He didn't get killed. That wouldn't be in Iordan's style. The queen begged for his life to be spared, so the king threw him in the dungeon where he spent all the days he had left. Iordan was amazing. All that with just the power of his wits and speech. He surely showed the Lord that he shouldn't have wronged him. Don't get the wrong idea about his reasons. Iordan didn't get through all of that just because of what the Lord did to him. You see, the Lord was a cruel, merciless brute. He mistreated all of his subjects, killed for fun, raped for sport. People used to call him laundryman because one of his habits was drowning his bastards in the lake right after birth, like unwanted kittens. Iordan needed to stop him, and he did. But that's not the end of the story. After the Lord's capture, someone had to take his place. He didn't have any rightful successors, but then, with just an uncannily perfect timing, came a distant cousin of the Lord's, a charming young man with 2 different eyes. You've got to be kidding me. He easily acquired all possessions of his sentenced relative, but Iordan didn't want any of that. Not for himself, so he took only 3 bags of coins from the treasury and left everything else in the Lord's hands in the hands of the peasants. They were elated. He is still probably worshipped there, I can tell you that. Oh, and one more thing. Why 3 bags, you might ask? That's easy. One for the tailor, another one for the stableman he took the horse from, and the last one for himself, with the exact amount of coins he was rightfully supposed to earn for his work at the orchard. I told you Iordan wasn't a thief. And that was it. He mounted his beautiful mare and left the realm, continuing his adventures. At least that's the story he used to tell us. So nothing of that may be true at all. But that's just how it was with Iordan. Now I understand what you gods were talking about. He really does seem surreal. Yeah. I've never met anyone else like that. Don't get me wrong. He had his flaws, but the things he could do. His tongue wasn't even silver. It was made out of pure gold. Oh, wait, you didn't tell me what was the purpose of the Undying Fist. Oh, I thought it would be obvious now. On that day, Iordan's mission was born. He knew that the spoiled, rotten elites like that were scattered all around the world. draining life and dignity from the hard-working, simple folk, and that he was capable of stopping them to some extent at least. So that's exactly what he was his driving starting blah, blah, blah. That's exactly what he started doing. Overthrowing corrupted lords and giving back to the community. He sounds like a hero, a true hero. Well, it wasn't like I mean he yeah, I guess you could say that. So how did you join the pack? Iordan was working solo until he met Unigas. That rat's agile fingers could work where Iordan's tongue couldn't. And then they needed someone with other talents they were lacking, like strength, manliness, bravery, independence, gallantry, integrity. Alright, I think I get the picture. So they recruited the best there was. I was between jobs at the time, so I gave them a chance, and finally the pack started to really make a difference, but I don't like to brag. Yes, I know, this uncle to the bone. Thank you for noticing. People at my level don't need to boast about our skills. Just like the sun doesn't need to prove it's bright. Anywho, I already spoke more words to you than I did in the last 5 years to anybody, so it's time for you to go, and preferably don't come back. Ever. It was a great pleasure and a true honor. Yeah, I don't care. Leave now. And in return for giving away my location, deliver this delicious meal to Unigas. It's his favorite, a knuckle sandwich. Do you want me to hit him in the face? Did I stutter? No, sir, of course. I'm on my way. Okay, let me get my torch out because I was freezing. So that was very fascinating. So we need to rush home because it is after dark. And that way we can get something to eat, warm up, and get some sleep before heading over to Unigast in the morning. Okay, finally caught him. It's always nice to see you, Russ. Unigast, hello! I've talked with Somber. He's a real sweetheart, isn't he? The sweetest, just like a jar of honey. Now this would be me. Are you kidding? He was the most terrifying person I've ever met. I'd be glad you didn't meet him on a bad day. How do you know? I didn't. You're here. I see. You did tell me about my uncle, though. The story about the Lord of the Orchards. He has some unexpectedly good storytelling skills, doesn't he? Yes, he really does. I was downright astonished by that. One time, I swear, he went for over a year without speaking a single word. But when we were sitting by the fire, he remembered some anecdote, laughed out loud, and began his tale. Went from a total mute to the master of ceremonies. The narrative was so gripping, it was hard not to listen. He even did voices, but after finishing, he became silent again. I've never fully understood that side of him. A theater genius trapped in the body of a fair wrestler. He actually asked me to give you something. Really? And what is that? A sandwich? Yeah, that sounds exactly like Somber. So, are you going to deliver? Do you want me to? Oh, sure. I love people punching me in the face. Around the valley, I'm known for it. Would you be so kind and do it for free, though? I'm all out of my being punched in the face budget. Okay, you're joking. I started worrying there for a second. So, Somber just likes to say crap like that. But if he asks, I'll tell him you knocked me out cold, just out of curiosity. What did Somber tell you about him becoming part of the pack? He said that you were looking for the best to recruit and that he was an obvious choice. Yeah, that seems like something he would say. Well, he was clearly full of crap. Isn't that the truth? It's not a pleasant memory, but I believe you deserve to know the whole story. We didn't recruit him. Well, I guess we did. Iordan did, but that wasn't a matter of choice. When Iordan and I started to follow his mission together, we were rather successful. Everything was going smoothly. Too easy, even. We were doing a lot of good, putting many well-deserved smiles on oppressed faces. That's when we let our guard down. There was a secret guild formed by a few of the higher-ranking knights and barons. We called them the Vendors. Bunch of really heartless bastards. Their most lucrative business was selling a living merchandise. And no, I'm not talking about animals. Please don't say it. Slavery was strictly forbidden in that realm. The queen was adamant about that. Well, the vendors had their own set of rules to follow. They caged them like cattle, mostly women and children, forced to fight rats for the poor little rations they were being given in the damp dungeon they were held in. The guild preferred quantity over quality, so they didn't care about diseases and they didn't tend to wounds. I think I'm going to be sick. Sometimes it took them weeks to get the dead out of the cages. Survival of the fittest. Or rather, outlasting of the least fortunate. It was simply horrible. If you ask me, all of them damned guilds deserved a cruel and slow death, but that wasn't how we operated. Iordan made it very clear from day one, we were never to take a life. That was the most important of rules. Anyway, we managed to get everyone out. The carriage is full of broken people, even the horses kept their heads low, mourning. The despair in the air was even more poisonous than the stench of the rotting flesh, and in all that, we forgot to make ourselves safe as well. The mercenaries caught us and brought us to the torture chamber. Yeah, this gruesome place had an even worse room hidden inside. Unbelievable. The vendors weren't in their patient mood, so they sent their worst torturer right away. I was horror-struck, truly petrified, could barely breathe. Iordan didn't say a word, just looked at me. His eyes were relaxed but focused. I realized he wanted me to be calm as well, but I just couldn't. He went first. The torturer strapped Iordan to a chair and just started swinging. His fists were like anvils. Every hit drew blood or broke bones. In a matter of seconds, Iordan's face looked like a bloody pulp. The only thing poking through it was his smile. It was one of many times I wondered if he was even human. The torturer quickly realized that he needed different tools for such a unique specimen and went to grab his blades. That's when Iordan started talking. He was making him offers, one after another, but the torturer just kept carving his torso, like he was preparing a steak to be grilled. There was so much blood I could taste it in my mouth. I wanted to pass out, just run away from all of that, but I couldn't. My heart was pounding way too fast. That's horrible. Suddenly the torturer stopped. He looked at me and back at Iordan. This was the only thing he said. If you're lying, you're going to watch me do the same to him. I was about to puke, but Iordan just nodded, so he untied us both and helped us escape. There were more mercenaries on our way, heavily armed. No one stopped us, even they were terrified of that guy. We managed to get out in one piece. Well, we managed to get out alive. Iordan's wounds wouldn't heal for weeks, and even after that, he was scarred so badly. It looked like he had chainmail stitched to his skin. But we had escaped death, and its emissary became one of us. The torturer, it was somber, wasn't it? Yes. Let's see. Now I understand why Somber didn't want to tell the truth. It sounds absolutely horrid. To be honest, the nightmares of that night never stopped. How could you want a person like that amongst your troop? You think I wanted that cutthroat anywhere near me? I couldn't get a wink of sleep with him around for days. I was constantly watching my back, watching his every move. So why didn't you blow him off? That's simple. Iordan made a deal with him. Promised him the only thing that mattered to that brute, which was money. A whole lot more than what the guild was paying him, and a cut from every heist that we did. But couldn't you just pay him off or run away? That's not the way Iordan did things. He was a master liar, but when he gave someone his word for real, He never backed down. Besides, as we later found out, Somber wasn't evil in his nature. He was just a true soldier, did what was asked of him. Iordan spent hours talking with him, explaining our rules of conduct. Somber never broke any one of them. Not once. That's incredible. Your lives, I mean, I don't think I would be able to handle all that. Honestly, I hope you will never have to. I've been through a lot, and after all those years, the thing I wish for you the most is to have a boring, steady life. Compared to your stories, boring life sure sounds pleasant, or I'm not the type of person to get bored. I'll do the second one. Then I have a special request for you that will help achieve that boredom. Sure thing, what do you need? I need you to go to Borough to find Ida and get my scythe back from her. Consider it done. Alright, so that is gonna have to do it for this episode. I never would have thought that Somber was the torturer of those guys. I mean, like, how do you end up torturing somebody and then they become your bestest of friends? I mean, that boggles my mind. I mean, I've heard of it happening, even in real life, but it's just, yeah, I always get surprised by that. So anyway, this is going to have to do it for this episode, guys. If you did enjoy, be sure to leave a like and subscribe if you're new, would like to join the Wolf Pack and see more content like this. And if you have any ideas or tips, be sure to leave those down in the comments. And until next time, guys, I hope you all had fun, and I'll see you in the next episode.
I got my lows, I got my highs.